Hey there, I'm Gary from the Upper Room, and I'm here today with an offer of hope for people who are feeling really tired of religion, but who would still like to get some answers to their questions about God and who He really is. If you're not totally sure what I mean, maybe think about some of these questions. For example, have you been living with an image of God that makes you feel like He's always disappointed in you? Kind of like your best effort is never enough for Him? And have you ever wondered why the Bible is too often used in confusing ways that make you wonder, what's there to believe in here anyways? There seem to be so many roads, and all the mixed messages, like everybody seems to be saying something different. Did you ever feel like you could not take any more of that condemning and shame-based religion, or of the Bible that is often used to support that same angry religious God? Or how often have you wondered who God really is, hoping against hope that just maybe God is somehow different than what you've experienced? In what ways have you struggled with who you really are and the whole issue of how to establish your worth and how to become confident in the person that you were made to be? You know, we've spent the past 3 years leading a small group of young people who have left exactly such an oppressive religious system that they grew up with in order to discover a new way of living. We've called that group the Upper Room. And in our Upper Room, a foundational question that we wrestle with regularly is this one: what if God isn't who you think He is, and neither are you? Think about that one. What if the God you were told about has served you more as a roadblock in your life than as a clear pathway to the real God who is waiting to be discovered? And what if I told you there's another story that you've perhaps not heard, a different fork that you can take on this path? A story about a love so powerful that it can change your heart in a way that the rules of religion never could. A love that would actually lead your heart to desire things that religion can never get you to desire. Did you know that Jesus invited His followers to explore this new way in the Bible in Matthew chapter 11, verse 28 to 30? There He said, "Are you tired, worn out, burnt out on religion? Come to me. Get away with me and you'll recover your life. I'll show you how to take a real rest. Walk with me and work with me. Watch how I do it. Learn the unforced rhythms of grace. I won't lay anything heavy or ill-fitting on you. Keep company with me and you'll learn how to live freely and lightly." Now tell me, when's the last time you felt rest in your soul when God was mentioned? When's the last time you described your life with God as living freely and lightly? Well, I have good news for you, my friend. I would like to invite you on a video journey with us. There's nothing magical about it. And the people who have been with us on this journey, their struggles have been real and intense, but they have learned how to run joyfully down this new path that's called freedom. So we've decided to make this opportunity available to those who wish to participate on a similar journey. I have no idea if the timing is right for you or not, but if this touches a soft spot in your heart, feel free to wander over to our website at www.theupperroomfamily.ca, where we have a series of free videos where you can learn more about how this journey can take shape in your life. This journey of how you can safely meet with God, the God who created you to rest in relationship with Him. These are not preaching videos. These videos are formatted to promote discussion between friends, okay? With lots of deep questions to help you stop and think through the issues that matter to you. Although you can watch them by yourself, you will soon see that they're actually designed for small groups to help to get friends talking and sharing with each other and opening up and really going deep together, okay? So feel free to participate in the way that suits you. You may want to do this alone, or you may want to grab a friend or two and join the Upper Room and create a brand new experience of your own. Again, this website has been specially designed to help people who have become disillusioned with religion and people who are looking for something more in their relationship with God. And it's also there to help people who have been burnt out and hurt and abused by religious systems, people who are basically ready to throw God and the Bible and religion and all that stuff out the window for good. In less than a minute, let me tell you what you will hear in the first 10 videos that make up what I call the introduction. You'll kind of need all 10 videos to get a full idea of where this journey is going. We start out by talking about soaking slowly and safely where we introduce you to the importance of finding safe places to be real and to share your heart. And we discuss the importance of not rushing this journey of discovery. Take your time. Then we move on to talking about getting it, where we peel back the layers of religion and carefully examine all these elements of control and bondage and fear and shame, and how the religious mindset thinks and what keeps so many people stuck there. We offer you a few tools on how to deal with your religious past and a few thoughts on how to move forward with the Lord into freedom. Many people are surprised to learn that God and religion don't mix. They really don't. Then we move on to discuss the great disconnect, which is about the things that cause our heads and our hearts not to connect or to agree on matters of faith. We focus specifically on our disconnects with the Bible and how it has been used to make so many people feel Bible bombed and worthless. And we ask the question, like, is there a whole new way to approach the Bible? Can we see it in a way that leads to this rest that we've been talking about? And this is just the introductory stuff. The rest of the stuff that is hiding there, you'll find out when you get there. One of our Upper Room members is Maria. Maria and her husband have 2 young boys, but before their boys were born, they suffered the loss of their first child at birth. Maria has a few things she'd like to share with you about her life-changing journey with God. Take a listen.
I always thought I knew it, but since rediscovering grace, that has changed my life. And it changes how I interact with God and how I interact with people, and how I give grace to myself. And another thing about grace is that when I am changing in a way that I actually want to change, it's not because of feeling remorse over the negative parts about me. I change because I am invited into what God wants for me. He's pulling me into the good instead of drawing me away from the negative. And so that's how grace has definitely changed my life. I used to hate reading the Bible, and I did it because I thought I should. I should read the Bible, and I should be wanting to know God more, and so reading the Bible is a way to do it. And if I want to worship, then I should be opening this certain book, and that's it. And when I was first introduced to the idea of Jesus in the Old Testament, that was radical because I didn't ever read it that way. And so now, with my grace lens, with my Jesus lens in the New Testament, and then drawing that back into the Old Testament, that has helped me read the Bible differently. Now I actually want to read the Bible, not because I think I should, but because it's interesting. Reading the stories is actually interesting to read them as a whole, and then to picture Jesus in them. Even when it doesn't say he's there, he's been there all the time. And so now just adding that extra filter in helps me read the story differently. One thing though that needed to happen for me in my devotional life is that I needed to take a break. Because getting from the mindset of, I need to do this is a thing off my checklist, I did my devos, we're good. I missed a day, oh no! And so to get out of that mindset and into the other, I'm still adjusting. I'm not perfect, I'm still in the transition. But to get to there, I needed to take a break. So through the Upper Room community, I was taught that I can worship God through talking to people about God. I can worship him through listening to a song for him. I can worship him through many different ways, and it doesn't have to be with my face in the Bible, and it doesn't have to be with a certain version, and it doesn't have to even include the Bible at all. God is a lot bigger than the Bible, and that has changed my devotional life because it allowed me to take that pause that I needed, and it allowed me to just rest in him and to not feel the need to perform for God, because he doesn't need anything from me. He just wants a relationship, and a relationship doesn't have to happen a certain way. And then with Christopher, at first when we lost him, then my husband and I were both of the mindset that God created him. God created him the way that he was created, and God designed him to die half an hour after birth. And he did that on purpose because there was good that was needed to be taught out of it, and that Reiner and I needed to learn a certain thing, and the only way that God could teach us is to take our kid away. And with that mindset, I was able to worship him in a way that people saw, but my heart did not. And I was not able to trust him and to find comfort from him when I was blaming him for taking my son away. And then through Upper Room and a lot of conversations on the side, I was introduced to the idea that maybe God's not my good guy and my bad guy at the same time. He can't both cause pain in my life and cause joy in my life, because if God is only good, then how am I blaming him for the bad? And then when that thought was introduced to me, I definitely went against it, and I said, no, that's not how it is, because that's just totally foreign. And I was talking to Gary and Arlene about it, and they just said, let's agree to disagree. And that was a huge game changer for me as well, that I didn't realize in the moment, because simply even just seeing a different way to approach differing views was really good to see, is that, oh, we can actually have different views and we don't have to be persuaded one way or the other. I just have my opinion and I don't need to change it. And that's what got me to change. Because nobody was trying to force me to think a different way. And so that got me to actually open up and say, something about that different way is intriguing. And so I was actually drawn into learning about how God can't be my bad guy. And now I have peace with God because I'm actually able to rest in him and to trust him, because he is good and he is only good. And now I can actually process my grief through a totally different lens. And I know that my baby is with a person that's only good. And so that has changed how I even interact with God, because now when other things happen in my life that are like in the negative category, then I still say God is good, God is only good, and he's not my bad guy. And so just allowing him to rewrite my story and be the hero of my story.
It's one thing to hear Maria's story. It's another thing to watch it happen, as we've been privileged to do. Our lives have been made so rich by sharing life with a small room full of these determined young people. People like Maria, who have said that their past will not define their future. People who step out in courage into new ways of thinking about God that lead to new ways of living in freedom. People who are learning that God is always good, even though life itself may not always be, and they've learned to see the difference between the two. Now Maria and others live life with a free-spirited joy that only Jesus can provide, and they know that he will be good to them again when they wake up tomorrow. And they want you to know that this life is possible for you as well.